Okay, welcome back to Case Closed, anime review episode number 88. This I'm viewing the newest of the anime, which is called The Great it's called The Great Detective Dragged Around, and the two newest chapters of the manga. And these ones are really interesting. I'll discuss these ones. Newest episode is simply this: Mori is hired by a beautiful woman who, character design wise, looks like Sato. You've got the same hair, though she's much shorter than she is. Basically, she's hired him to look for a missing brooch, basically leading him on a scavenger hunt. Conan plays a minor role in this episode. Mostly it's focused on Mori. And they drive around town. First go to a park, which Mori's got a history of this particular park, mainly a publication building that just happened to be there. Because he's got past a particular building. That's explained later. Because it's connected, and they go to they also go to another park. They also go into an art museum, basically a church. They go like various places, and then it finally ended up at a cemetery. And Conan basically was discovered at the second park they went to. Yeah, tell him to go home and grocery drops him off, but he basically deduces what exactly was. So he basically talks to the guy who worked with. And it turns out 2 years prior to the events of the story, Mori had, deduced that this publisher was responsible for the death of his member of the Japanese Diet, who was not very well liked. And he said, yeah, he got what he deserved. So the guy went to prison, but before he went to trial, he committed suicide. And it turns out that the woman was actually his fiancée. Yeah, she kind of reveals that, yeah, she was his fiancée. The whole brooch story, just nothing more than a big fat lie. And the places that they went around to were places that she and her fiancé had memories at. And then apparently because she was upset that he deduced that he was the culprit. Now, he pointed this out, though, that he did this before he started doing the whole sleeping more thing. So, she takes on and tries to stab, but he ends up basically tripping and bopping himself on the head and not falling to the ground, surprisingly, just standing up, but he's unconscious. So Conan's like, instead of basically knocking him out using a tranquilizer dart, he just, gets knocked anyways. This is actually, believe it or not, the first time Mori did this in the show, which I believe this was back in episode 3, a filler episode, and this is how they actually knocked him out originally before they did the whole tranquilizer dart to the neck thing. Yeah. This is the idea originally, basically just get Cam get bop in the head. This time, basically hitting the head with a tree. Yeah, Conan, via him, basically explains that despite the fact he was well liked, and pretty much does a lot of this stuff, basically confirms a lot of stuff, and the fact that he, did not want her to kill Mori for staying in prison. Want to live her own life. And apparently she's done nothing for the past 2 years. And the reason why she's gone through now was because her mother died. Yeah. That's what it's an okay episode. It's a bit of a character development for Mori, and he doesn't remember it at all. And she basically turns over a new leaf. She just gives up her desire for revenge against him. And that's it. Next week, I itch my nose about this. Oh, also in the flashback, Maguire's in the flashback, because of course he is. And that's Maguire's only appearance in this episode. Basically a flashback. Next week, Sato returns to the anime first time in quite a while. Last time she appeared was an actual canon episode. And next week is a filler. Yes, a filler. I mean, this is the first time in quite a while she's actually appeared in a filler episode. It's called The Encouragement of the Perfect Crime. Alright, now moving on to the two newest chapters of the manga. First, chapter 1059, the pre-show briefing. Chapter starts off exactly where last chapter left off. Wakone realizes though that the Kadoke disguised himself as his father. Yep. By the way, we don't see Kadoke physically in these two chapters. He just basically disguises him because, he looks like Conan. Well, Shichi anyways. And pretty much he convinces he's the best person who is good at disguising. But Conan basically pretty much debriefs him on the whole case he's supposed to, well, do a deduction for. And then the reporters show up. And of course, well, they ask where his beautiful wife is. Like, oh, she's sleeping. Oh, is that so? Well then. Which time of the camera rehearsal? Alright. And gives sort of a, kind of figures out exactly who was responsible for the crime. We see a brief cameo by Rand and Maury. Yeah, they're just basically watching this whole thing on screen. It's a perfect deduction, and the fact that the person who committed this murder that he was supposed to deduct was actually the reporter who's investigating it via her watch. Yep. And Conan, instead of having a special bow tie, he actually has his badge in his hand. Now moving on to the next chapter, which is the show is about to begin, which actually is the conclusion of this brief case. Yeah, 2 cases in a row where it's just a quick little 3-parter. Yep. This is the first time since, I believe the last this happened was actually a 3-parter just prior to me reviewing this series last year, which involved like a leaf. Yes, that was the last time the series had a 3-parter. And this is something. This is chapter 1060. Yep. So, basically, he deduces that the female reporter is the one responsible for this. And, go ahead, so just go for it. So, you have me. Got it. Yeah, induces that, yep, she's responsible. And lays out everything. You have to read the chapter to basically get it. So, via groceries, stuff like that, and the fact that whole be a special lock. And he was like, oh, it's actually locked. And basically, Rand and Maury just quick cameo. They don't do anything. And well, it was news that she was responsible. She gets arrested, and McGuire makes a cameo. Huh. Guess we haven't seen on TV. Cow Kid showed up in Shueisha into a little while ago. What? Can't be. What do we do here? I happened to come by the play. More importantly, the kid happened to be another fake. Right? Kaido Yushi. I have Kudo. Wait, he's gone. You know, never confirmed the kid is the real deal. Hold up, if he's the real kid, who's masquerading as... Yep, and it turns out the person masquerading as him was... not the Kaido Kid. Nope. And we see the return of characters I haven't seen in quite some time. We cut to the Black Frog. And inside the Black Frog is Vermouth, basically of Jin and Vodka and Vermouth. Yep, they're back. Yeah, it's about frickin' time we finally get back to the Black Organization. And it turns out she was the one disguised as Conan's father. The reason why, because she's the only member of the organization who is still active with them who doesn't know Conan and Sichi. As for why she said to do it, well, because she had business. Her thing is like, oh yeah, I have business for rum. Yep. Yeah, of course, knocking on the door, and turns up behind the door is none other than Aki. Yep, Aki. And apparently, Jody and Carmel are there. Haven't seen those two in quite a while. I think the last time they showed up in the series, well, Vermouth, last time she showed up was actually the song case. As for Jody, canon-wise, well, she and Carmel, well, I think the last time they showed up in the series was when they revealed that Rum became active. That was the last time I could think of they showed up in the series, so it's been quite some time. So apparently he's been searching the house, and they kind of did confirm something. Yep, fool your enemies, fool your friends first, huh? Not to mention, you seem to be a favorite of Sharon's. With this, she would take charge of them, charging here for the time being. Indeed, now we need to prepare for their big move. Ooh. Next shadow comes out on October 7th, so basically like a little over a month. Wow, 2 really good chapters, so it's not the Kaido Kid. wow, that was a shocker. The fact that Vermouth was actually in Conan's house. Yeah, that was a shocker. And it seems that, though, finally, we have the Black Organization doing something in the series. Because the last time they made any kind of move in the series, where, in the case of Jin and Vaca, I think for them, the last time they were active in this series was when they had, well, I'm trying to remember her name. The one who was a reporter who went back to them, but she had a bunch of bugs in her. She was seen like one at a time. I think the last time she appeared was actually back when the I think it was the manga, so it was like 800 episode chapter. I think it was. Yeah, it was like a while ago when Jin Vaca last showed up in the series. But great, we finally had the Black Organization finally make an appearance. I mean, it took them long enough. I mean, this is the first time there's any plot development related to Black Organization since they revealed who the big boss was. Yes. Don keep thinking, like, what the heck took the series so long to finally get back to them? After doing a bunch of okay cases. The case in this three-parter was interesting. But, wow. We're finally going to get to the Black Organization stuff. Yeah, I like the Black Organization. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next. And, though we have to wait a little over a month for the next chapter, but it's going to be worth it to see what the Black Organization's plans are. Yeah, and because they're back, the FBI is back and active in the series, first time in quite a while. Yeah, I wonder if Conan will eventually tell Jody that he is Sichi. I hope he does, because he trusts her a lot. Despite the fact that, if you look at it, she's roughly like 11 years older than he is. Now, I don't think that he's in love with Jody. No. One person I would love to see her finally return to the series again, Masumi. I would like to see her basically making her appearance, and her bringing that with her brother. That would be awesome, to say the least. So yeah, that's it for this particular review, and that's probably going to be it for videos today, because I don't think I'll get done the rest of One Piece, the current arc I'm working on for One Piece. Probably tomorrow, along with news episodes of One Piece, and Boruto, and the news chapter of the My Hero Academia manga, because that's going to come out tomorrow. Yep. Do this next video. Bye.